come to this one. Call Andrew Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is a pleasure to be talking on this bill. As a member of the Regulations Review Committee with my colleague who's just finished speaking, this is an exciting bill. Many of you don't think that, but I do actually. And although it's a small bill, it is important, and it's even unusual in that support for it comes from crossbenchers. What the bill really does is about validating, confirming acts, bills, regulations, and such orders need to be considered because whilst it's technical in many parts of it, it's absolutely essential that we deal with these issues before they're revoked or simply go out of existence. And therefore, what this does is actually dealing with the confirmation and validation of certain acts. But before just going on and talking a little bit about the bill before us today, I want to take the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to talk about the role of the Regulations Review Committee, because not many people understand its role. And first of all, we have 5 key areas of interest. First of all, we have the opportunity to examine all regulations. Secondly, we examine regulation-making powers and bills, and from time to time we speak to various select committees about that issue. We do investigate complaints about the operation of regulations. In fact, we have done some. We conduct inquiries into matters relating to regulations. And fifthly, we consider any draft regulations referred to by Ministers of the Crown and report back on them. I'm going to talk about that. Sometimes bills are referred to the Regulations Review Committee, and in this instance, confirmation and validation bills will seek to be confirmed or validated that might otherwise lapse. So I just wanted to explain what confirmation and validation means, Mr. Speaker. So, in terms of confirmation, many statutes empower the making of regulations with immediate effect. However, those regulations need to be expressly confirmed by Act of Parliament within a certain time frame, or they cease to have an effect. In general, there are 4 categories of regulations which need to be subject to confirmation. The first is emergency regulations. Secondly, regulations imposing a financial charge or the nature of a tax. Regulations amending or the empowering act or another act. And fourthly, regulations dealing with issues of policy under the authority of the broad empowering provision. Now, the second aspect is validation, and this goes further than confirmation. Validation can also cure other defects in the piece of legislation or regulation in a manner in which the regulations were made that would otherwise have led to the regulations being regarded as invalid. In other words, validations can make unlawful regulation lawful. Now, as my colleague previously referred to, this piece of bill actually introduced a new title, which is confirmable instruments. And this is certainly going to be an issue that the committee is going to be looking at. It is a new term, and confirmable instruments are normally referred to as dinglies, as someone just asked before. Dinglies are, in effect, delegated instruments that may or may not be legislative instruments. And so what we will be doing in the committee is be talking about this use of the term confirmable instruments and how they apply and whether that is appropriate. But there's some very important parts of the bill that deal with that, and I cannot wait to have those conversations with my learned colleagues. And therefore, on that basis, I commend the bill to the House, Mr. Speaker.